Hello and welcome back to my channel. If I am a new face, aka voice or hands today, my name is Lauren and today we are going through my 2025 reading journal setup. Now this was so fun to create. I created the little logo thing on the front on my Cricut. I spent a lot of time deciding, but right now I am going through and just gonna kind of talk you through what I did. So right here, I am going through my books bought, and this is something new that I've been doing. I essentially just want to track how much I am spending on books per month, and if I'm actually going through and reading them. I don't want them to just sit on my shelves and go to waste in a way. So here in a second, I will start to color it, but I found this setup from another creator. I will show her handle here on YouTube, and she helped me she created this layout and I've adapted it for myself. And don't worry, the color here is pink, but it's showing up orange for some reason, and you'll see that the overall vibe of this reading journal is just fun neon colors. Essentially, I had no real theme with it. I had tried to come up with a theme, but I really just chose colors that made me happy. A theme was stressing me out too much, and that is not what reading journals are about. For me, they're supposed to be like happy and fun, and I'm supposed to be motivated to do them and fill them out. And I was like, if I pick a theme now, in a couple months, I might not be vibing with it, and I might not be motivated to keep up like a fairy and woodland theme or anything like that. So here I am just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next, and it looks like I'm about to tackle a big page. Yes, it is the reading challenge page, and here I had already kind of figured out with some math what I needed to do, and so now I'm just filling in my pencil markings, and I fast forwarded for you guys because it is kind of boring to watch me draw a million little lines, but the end result is so satisfying. If you don't believe me, just like wait and afterwards it's a lot better. But I was really dreading this page, so I'm glad I got it over with at the beginning of doing this reading journal. And I did something a little different. So last year I kind of color coded and just went based off vibe, but this year I'm kind of sorting it by genre. So you'll see how that looks, but these are always so satisfying for me to do. And so my goal this year is to read 120 books, and this also corresponds with my reading blanket that I'm doing. But so I tore out an extra piece of paper and I got out my paper cutter from my Cricut so that I can make this little flappy chart thing that I can keep track of the genres. And I love erasing all the pencil lines. But before I decide to figure out which colors for which of my main genres, I went and I numbered each box, and I did not miscount. I had 120. And here I'm just trying to figure out how I can best write on this piece of paper and not mess it up. It was honestly really stressful to do and try to figure out, but I got it. And so now I'm just writing out all the genres, and then I'll go through and pick out the colors here in a minute. But these were my most read genres of 2024, and so I referred back to my color chart I did of all my markers on this paper and what they show up like. And you can see, once again, I went with neons. Like, I don't know, I'm not usually a neon person, but that's what this one was all about. And while I'm recording this, I've already filled out 8 of the little squares, or 7, I think, technically, and it is really satisfying. And I am glad I chose neons because they do make me really happy, and I'm just really curious to see which color is going to dominate, etc., based off which genres I read the most this year. And I think it's going to be fantasy, but winter always makes me want to read fantasies more. And then, of course, I went in with a neon purple, I know, eye roll, to write the title. And I wasn't doing anything crazy, but now I'm drawing these cute little doodle flowers that I love doing. I do them everywhere. And just doing it based off the genre and the color and just kind of adding a little something something to the page. And I'll go through here in a minute and color them in, because when I was doing this I was like, oh, this looks fine, and then I decided no, it doesn't. You can barely see the lighter colors. And there's the flap in action. Now it's time to do the title page. I essentially did like a little bit of figuring out, measuring, whatnot, and then I'm freehanding essentially all of this title page. So I'm just gonna shut up for a little bit and let you vibe with some music while I go through and I do this title page. It does not need explanation. This page might be a little surprising, but I take my content creation really seriously, and it's one of the goals that I have for myself in 2025 to take my content creation even more seriously. So I wanted to put a page dedicated to that in my 2025 reading journal. And so my main ones, because I didn't know where we're standing with the third main platform I use, but it's TikTok or YouTube and Instagram. And then I also have paid partnerships, and there I'm gonna put like the total amount I made that month because of paid partnerships. And I haven't done a lot of them, but it's a goal that I'm trying to push myself to do more. And here I am just coloring it in. And when you see the colors I chose for the paid partnership boxes, I hated it. Truly. They are just not nice colors, but at least this blue is really pretty. Color coordination was not there for me today. I decided to do the majority of this reading journal. Look at that. Like, I could not have chose worse colors side by side. I don't know what I was thinking. It just, ugh. This is another fun page that I decided to do. I recently really got into Cawpile, which is a review system, and I want to make a video talking more about it. But this is my rating scale breakdown and Cawpile reminder page so that I can refer back to it as I'm going through and rating each book I read. And I'm not going to explain Cawpile here, but I was introduced to it from that same YouTuber that I mentioned before when she did her like reading journal like experiment one. But this system does really work. The scoring does work. I would maybe want to try to adapt it for myself to have half-star ratings in there. But then also on the top is like, if Cawpile doesn't work, I have a better rating system based off of me to go with. So it's a little bit of Cawpile, a little bit of me for this page. Next, I am going through my alphabet reading challenge, and I had this one set up in my 24 reading journal, and I really enjoyed it. I did not hit the goal of getting all the letters, but it was fun. And now the one that I was dreading the most, the daily pages reading log, and I love this one. Just the setup is so tedious. Like, look at every single line I have to draw, and I had to make sure I had the days for each month correct. I'm sure there's a boo-boo in there, but don't point it out because I don't feel like going and figuring it out. But this one was really satisfying, and I have filled out the first like 18 days of January already, and it is really cool to see the colors, because you'll see as I go through and I do my colors here in a minute that I did them rainbow, going from red to green, and it is so satisfying to see, like on a weekend when I read like 300 pages. So there's the rainbow down there. Yeah, and I have a different chart, like an insert, to help me keep track of which color, because my pens are numbered. And if you're curious about any of the supplies that I use to make this reading journal, I will have a link in the description to all of the supplies that I used. But look at these colors. They're not as neon. They're kind of just more rainbowy, and they just look so nice. In June, I'll do a mid-year update walkthrough with my reading journal and kind of go through what I like and what I don't like. But this page, even though it was a monster to do, it was so satisfying at the end. And now on to the next spread. It is my reading log, and I have done this spread. This would be the third time, and this is just what works for me. I like to see when I started a book, when I finished it, and what order it fell into for like which number, and that's going to help with the granny square blanket that I'm doing to know which block was which book. But I've done this layout, literally this exact layout, for 3 reading journals. I don't think I'm going to change it. But once again, I did not do great with choosing the color. So here's like a pink. It's a lot more neon in life. And then I chose this purple. Like, I don't know what I was doing. But I think I did a total of 3 pages for this, but I have room to do a 4th and then add on from there if I just go like really bonkers. And here's my TBR. I did not start filling it out, but I need to fill it out on my Google Sheets reading log that I have filled it out. I just haven't prioritized which ones I definitely want to try to read this year yet. So that's just me sitting down for 30 minutes or a couple hours in an evening and doing that. But this color turned out to be a little bit better than the overall reading log, I think. Let's see which color I went with. Yeah, much better. I think I should have just gone with a blue color scheme because those seem to be the most appealing to me right now. And the the final spread that I am making in this setup video is my monthly reading spread. I've seen a couple other creators doing this, but I really like having a calendar in there and then going through and marking which books I started and how long it took me to read them, etc., etc. You probably saw this in a couple of my other videos if you're like a fan of being on here. And I used to track a lot of different stats like books, pages, genres, rating, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to give this page space to be what I wanted it to be. And I'm not really sure about that yet. And I do need to go back and fill it out and see what I do like and don't like. And then another part that I'm not showing in this setup video is my reviews. And that's because I haven't really decided how I want to set those up yet. But I know that I need to do it soon and get caught up on them, or else I'll never do it. And now it's time for a full walkthrough. So I will shut up and just let you enjoy this walkthrough. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and follow, and don't forget to tune in next Friday for another bookish video. Happy reading, bestie.